Hi guys, I'm wanting to talk about the series I did with Murder Drone's Future Chaos. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this series is because there are some things I wanted to explore in the series before I inevitably ended up canceling it. Now, I would like to show you guys what I was wanting to do with the series before it turned out the way it did. And the thing I wanted to start off with was I wanted to talk about how this scene would work out here. You see in this scene that when Sind shows up as like a spirit or like an entity or something, I wanted that to be a detail that not only could Sind show up in Uzi's tail, but also show up as like a spirit that Uzi could see that no one else could. And another thing that was actually meant to be mentioned here was, and does probably could actually be seen if you guys pay attention enough, that it was supposed to be, that it was inevitably meant to be that Cage was supposed to be ending up to be able to see Sin too, because he has a bionic eye. That's why both his eyes are, one of his eyes are a different color. And that's why he looked surprised in a certain scene before it glitched, was the fact because he could actually see Sin. That's why, and that's actually another reason why Jay stopped Cage before he got any closer, because Jay wasn't doing it to protect Uzi or anything. No, she protected her because she could also see Sin. Like, she was one of the only people that I wanted to show that could also see Sin when she's a spirit and not just in her tail, in Uzi's tail. Now, that was a thing I didn't really pile on well, but it was a key detail. Now, something else I would like to talk about is this girl right here. Uno is her name. She is a character I created to be like another person who was part of the Absolute Solver project that the humans did on Yaiba, Nori, and Alice. She was one of the experiments. That she had a gift that she could see the future, and that she actually saw everything that happened in the series, and she was just waiting for the time to actually really do something about it. Now, one of the things that was a key detail with her is that she was actually being possessed by the Absolute Solver. And I'm not talking about like Sin, I mean like Sin's mother, Sylvia. Sylvia was supposed to be like the actual main villain of the series. Like, she was the one who was pulling all the strings and everything. That's why she was seen as the one possessing Uno, because Uno was using her as a host so she could use her ability to see the future. And that's why she was like how she was, because she was being used as like something that Sylvia could use because she wanted her future powers. Another group I would like to discuss are these guys, the experiment drones that were experimented on by the humans when they were in hiding. Now, the reason why these guys are important are because they were the original designs for like C and Q, and actually the original like playmats for them. Like, these are where C and G came from. They were seen as experiments to the absolute, to the humans, so they could experiment on like drones and like learn about the absolute solver. Like, they were actually the reasons why C got her eye, J C got her eye, and how Save got her powers, and how Grim was that Grim. Now, another thing to talk about would be that is about Code. Code is another character that was actually one of my favorites that never really got much attention. That did get a lot of attention, but I didn't really get to explain his story the way I wanted it. He was a character that was made, experimented on by the humans, that the humans infused his mind with the same with the same kind of engine that was used to run Google at the time. That's why he got so smart, is because he literally had Google as his mind. That's how he became the world's smartest drone, or pretty much the smartest thing in the universe, pretty much, or like the smartest on any planet. It was also a thing we would see that the reason why Code joined Sylvia, Sin's mother, was because she he joined her because she knew, or he knew, that she was the only way he would get what he wanted, a future where him and his friends could be safe. He he is really smart, and he thought he could outsmart the Solver, but he really couldn't. That's why he ended up being kind of the J to Sylvia, was because Sylvia pretty much, and I don't really know how to explain it because my brain's kind of throbbing out, but that's basically the gist of it. He was pretty much the J to Sylvia. And something speaking about Sin would actually be this next subject. In one of these other kind of like scenes, you could see that Sin wasn't being herself. And the explanation for that would be that Sin was actually slowly being separated from the Solver. Like, the reason why she was acting like not like how she was in the actual series is because she was slowly being separated from her mother's control. That's why she actually ended up resurrecting Tessa, was because she wanted to. Sorry about that, had to change something. But she wanted to show that she was changed, so she resurrected Tessa, and she thinks by doing that, people would forgive her, but she didn't realize that when she resurrected Tessa, Tessa would remember only exactly what she would had remembered when the day she ended up dying. And the last thing she remembered was Sin, pretty much. And actually, there was another thing I wanted to show for that, but I never actually really got the chance to. And the reason why Tessa had fire powers was, I'm pretty sure people kind of wanted to know about that, is I'm actually not, actually, I don't know why I just gave her fire powers, and the reason why she looked the way she looked is because Sin had been gathering parts, even when she was small, to like actually gather the material so she could build her body. Even when she was small, she was doing it. And that's why she got all the parts to actually make Tessa's body. And yeah. And how Tessa spat on her was actually a reference to how she was actually being seen, how it was actually like in like the actual series. Like, that was like a cool little nod I did to that. Anyway, that's just about it for what I could feel like I could explain. Now, if you guys want me to explain other things that happened in other kind of series I did, feel free to comment on this video what else you would like to know, like why this happened or why that happened and why this, why that. Comment down below and I'll respond to it. Now, guys, if you couldn't tell, I am stuttering a lot, and that's one of the reasons why I don't really do these kinds of videos. It's because I stutter a lot, and I end up losing track. Wow, it's so much better using Gotcha Club.